is an absolute disclaimer. I am not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. I'm imparting my conscience, my convictions. That is all. Hold close to that. This is the disclaimer. This is not legal advice. Okay. See you in the next one. Woo. Got a little fired up. Different phone call. So this is going to be video 3 in the series of 7. We did the introduction with disclaimer. We did why I chose a religious test and how that would have to be formulated, how a religious test would have to be formulated either functionally or substantively, and touching on the questions that were made and by the exemption request form for the religious test of how sincerely held my beliefs are and how I live them out by my company. It just tastes bad. My conviction and my conscience have been sparked, and I've been watching this for 2 years. I've been watching this a lot longer than 2 years. I've been watching this about since 2014, and I got my first wake-up call. And again, I'm going to read you page 1, and someone asked me, why would you go this route? Why in any way, shape, or form would you want to go this direction and do a religious exemption? And I will restate that again clearly. The reason I'm going for the religious exemption is because the rest of them either going to have to be updated or it's going to change over time. And what I mean by that is this: if I went for a medical exemption, meaning that a doctor said at this point in time, given my current health and status, that they would, not suggest me taking a vaccine, I could get an exemption for a specific period of time. For example, if my doctor said in 6 months that, well, he's fine now, that the conditions have changed, he's now able to take the vaccine, that exemption would be out the window. Indiana, as of January 6th of 2022, is allowing a natural immunity exemption. We don't know how long that natural immunity would last. And if they tested and no longer had natural immunity, congratulations, now you're right back to where you started. That now you need to either, go back under the mandate and the procedures thereof, of the ETS, the guidance, as it were. Okay, the other one would be a philosophical position, and given the suspension of the organic Constitution of the United States, up to and including the Act of 1871, and following 14th Amendment citizens fill in the blank, the creation of USDC, I won't get into all of that, but the philosophical position is, if it were a dire emergency, if it were declared emergency, if it were a matter of safety and health, this government has no issue whatsoever suspending the Constitution and taking an issue and making it they won't say unconstitutional, because they won't say that. What they will say is it is now officially a non-constitutional issue, which we have remedy for that too, and that's going to be in video number 5. But this one is specifically my sincerely held religious beliefs and convictions. And I'm going to read this from the submission from Friday that I submitted to my company as part of the answer to my sincerely held beliefs. And I'm only going to do the front page of this. I won't do all of it. Understand that to follow, we will go into the mRNA, the tests, the other policies and procedures, the guidances. In video 4, video 5 is going to be the difference between positive law and color of law and the remedy and redress within it. Video 6 is going to be the 8 parts of a lawful contract, because this is a mandate. This is ETS. This is policy, administrative order, etc. It's under equity, not anything else. So it's an offer to contract. If you don't know what the contract is, and you don't know what the parts of a lawful contract is, you have no chance to exempt from it as far as things go. 7 is video 7 is the religious exemption and conditional acceptance form, the offer to contract that I also submitted. I'm looking here at about 6 pages worth of work that was submitted Friday afternoon to the company. And again, this is not legal advice. This has nothing. This is a matter of my convictions and my conscience. This is not legal advice. I am not a lawyer. This is for information and entertainment purposes only. Do your own work. This information will include exemption from mRNA vaccination and subsequent boosters, masking, testing, and periodic testing requirements. The status will reflect sincerely held religious beliefs that are legally protected and defended by the international statutes, Nuremberg Code of 1947, the founding documents of the Organic Constitution of the United States, and the first 10 amendments known as the Bill of Rights. The federal agencies that operate policies that oversee safety and civil rights in the United States, the Civil Rights Commission, Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of '64, HIPAA, both on the security and privacy and protection and enforcement sides, EEOC, ADA, and, for example, the reporting sites concerning injury, harm, and subsequent damage, including reconciled VAERS reporting. I have been asked regarding my sincerely held religious beliefs, and I can summarize as follows below. Although I am deeply troubled and concerned about handing over a God-given and constitutionally protected right for anyone to attempt to create a religious test to determine if my beliefs can be measured by any person's standards, and therefore offered to allocate back to me a measure, any measure or degree of a God-given freedom that I was born with, is troubling to say the least. But I digress. I was created by God in his image and likeness, Genesis 1:27. He knew me as he knitted me in my mother's womb, Jeremiah 1:5. I am fearfully and wonderfully made, Psalm 139:14. I am the temple of the Holy Spirit, 1 Corinthians 6:19. Bought with a price, the blood of Christ, 1 Corinthians 6:20. I am indwelled by Jesus the Christ as I abide in him and he in me, John 15:5. I am told by Christ to render under Caesar what is Caesar's and under God what is God's. That's Mark 12:17. DNA is called the book of life, as it is a blueprint of how my Creator made me. And the mRNA gene therapy being offered experimentally is to change and adapt my given DNA, thus rendering under man's government, Caesar, what is God's, to change the coding and creation he made, and this is unacceptable. The need of testing a healthy individual flies in the face of logic, and the ingredients of the PCR and rapid swabs are known to be toxic to humans. The efficacy of masks has been shown to be ineffective above the 5 micron level, thus slowing liquid and droplet escape trajectory, but still too large to impede a viral transmission of any kind. With this said, the face covering of a mankind, is to veil the glory of God's creation, mankind, thus again attempting to render under Caesar what is God's, Mark 12:17. Please feel free to check with an affidavit of standing filed with the Buena Vista County Courthouse in Iowa in my name to ensure that I have corrected my standing with regards to my position as a living man, flesh and blood, living soul, and in no way an accommodating party of any corporation or employee of the USDC, a person, in legal terms, dead or otherwise a minor in the view of the court. If there is any concern or question regarding, please feel free to contact me, and I make sure that you understand my standing and position in this regard. So I don't know how much of that you caught, but we will be stripping that apart in the next couple of videos. And the next video will be discussing the mRNA gene therapy that is being foisted upon us, and the other automatic exemptions being offered, for example, the masking or temp check and swabbing. And we'll be touching on that in the next video. Again, this is not legal advice. This is for information and entertainment purposes only. All right, that's page 1. That is video 3. Stay tuned. Video 4 to follow on the mRNA vaccine and how, as a creation of God made in his likeness and image, what's being asked of me to accept that experimental gene therapy and or the other accommodations, quote unquote, being offered. Stay tuned.